At 3:17 a.m., every security camera on Earth captured the same impossible glitch. A single frame, out of place. A moment that didn't belong to the timeline we know. Millions of devices froze simultaneously. Street cameras, doorbell cameras, phone cameras that weren't even recording. All paused for exactly 1/6 of a second and replaced their image with something else. A figure, standing in the center of the frame, facing the camera directly, unmoving, unrecognizable. No two images were perfectly identical, yet every camera recorded the same presence, as if it was adjusting itself to the angle of each device. People who reviewed the footage described the figure in different ways. A tall silhouette, a bending shadow, a human outline with no face, a distortion built out of pixels that shouldn't exist. Within minutes, the world realized this wasn't a localized glitch. It was synchronized. Every time zone, every network, every device with a lens. Governments issued statements calling it a firmware error, but the footage didn't match any known software failure. There were no artifacts, no compression trails, nothing that hinted at malfunction. It was deliberate. On certain cameras, its outline bent with the curvature of the lens. On others, reflections of streetlights appeared on the figure's surface, as if it was truly standing there. Then the second anomaly surfaced. People realized the glitch wasn't random. It only occurred on cameras pointed at locations where someone was awake. Not recording, just awake. It didn't matter whether they were visible. If a human consciousness was active in the vicinity, the device froze. No one could explain how a camera knew someone was awake behind a wall or above a ceiling or down a street. But the pattern held. Every glitch aligned with a moment of human awareness. The world started asking a question people weren't ready to face. Was the glitch targeting cameras, or was it targeting people? 48 minutes after the initial event, new footage arrived. This time from a grocery store in São Paulo. A clerk stocking shelves froze mid-motion as the store's cameras flickered. On playback, people noticed the figure again, but closer. Standing at the far end of the aisle, half obscured, as if it had moved forward between the two frames. More examples appeared. Dash cams, warehouse cams, hospital hallway cameras. Each time, the figure stood slightly nearer than before, not walking, just appearing incrementally, as if skipping forward inside the footage. Experts tried explaining it as frame injection, but the visuals resisted categorization. The lighting matched perfectly. The shadows fell with impossible accuracy. The reflections on metal surfaces aligned with real objects. It wasn't an overlay, it was presence. Then the event spread beyond cameras. At 4:03 a.m., phone screens began to distort in real time. People who were awake and holding their phones watched their display ripple, like heat waves across pavement. For a moment, the pixels stretched, revealing a faint silhouette standing behind their own reflection. No one saw a face, just the shape, always centered, always upright. Some people dropped their phones, others closed their eyes. A few stared into the distortion, frozen not by fear, but by recognition. A strange, intuitive sense that the figure wasn't a stranger at all. It felt familiar, known, remembered from a place no one could name. By the second hour, researchers isolated the glitch's pattern. Every distortion began precisely 17 milliseconds after a human blinked. A blink, the brief moment a mind resets visual perception. Whatever the figure was, it piggybacked on the reset, slipping into the visual space when the brain wasn't looking. The phenomenon was still accelerating when the first audio distortion appeared. Security cameras with integrated microphones recorded a soft, static hum that didn't match environmental noise. When the sound was isolated and slowed down, analysts discovered a structure, not random static, but something rhythmic, almost like breathing. Not human breathing. Something heavier. Inhalations that carried an unnatural resonance, as if echoing through an impossible chamber. People began reporting a different sensation. Pressure behind the eyes, a subtle tug at the edges of their awareness. As if something was watching from a place slightly misaligned with reality. At 5:12 a.m., the final anomaly surfaced. This one wasn't recorded by any device. It was felt. Across the world, thousands of people who had been awake through the event reported the same experience at the same moment. A flicker in their vision. A sense of their surroundings becoming suddenly thinner. And a single, quiet message. Not heard with ears, but recognized in the mind. You were not supposed to see me yet. For some, it felt like a whisper. For others, like a thought that wasn't theirs. But everyone agreed on the wording. And the moment the message ended, every glitch stopped. Cameras resumed normal function. Devices stabilized. Phone screens returned to normal. It was over. Or so it seemed. Footage reviewed later revealed something unsettling. Not all cameras froze at the same moment. A handful continued recording normally for several seconds before the glitch occurred. Those few recordings captured something new. Something the rest of the world never saw in real time. The figure didn't just appear. It stepped into frame. Not a glitch. Not a distortion. A physical movement. From outside the frame. Into it. As if crossing a boundary. And as it moved forward, one of the cameras caught a final detail. The only clear one ever recorded. Just before the figure turned its head, the pixels around its shape warped, revealing a second silhouette behind it. Smaller, closer to the camera, and almost human. The footage cuts there, abruptly. Not corrupted, removed. Authorities deny anything unusual was found. But the timestamp tells a different story. The final frame wasn't recorded at 3:17 a.m. It was recorded 2 minutes in the future. No one knows what that means. Not yet. But whatever appeared in that moment wasn't finished stepping through. And the next time the world blinks at the same moment, it might not wait behind the frame.